Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Jasmy update. We want to take a look at the Jasmy price once again as we are beginning a new week here to try and see what's up with the Jasmy price. So we can clearly see that we are stuck in between a resistance and a support level here. And honestly, this kind of price action is really boring. But the fact of the matter is, in the crypto space, we actually tend to spend more time going to the downside or sideways even than the time that we spend going to the upside. So you can actually see that in some instances, you see the price going to the downside for months, even 6 months, and all those losses will be recovered just in a matter of like 3 weeks or 2. So I think it's really important that in these boring times, you never lose sight of the bigger picture. So in today's video, we're going to be basing our short-term analysis on the bigger time frame perspective because, as I already said, it's really important never to lose sight, right? So this is my bigger picture of what I expect to happen on the Jasmy price. So towards the end of this year, if it doesn't happen, of course, until the end of this year, I expect this price to be reached right around the first quarter of 2024. So we are looking at this falling wedge on the price at very common structure, but also very bullish, right? So the main price that we'll be looking at is something like 4.5 cents all the way up to something like 11 cents or something like that. Now that's good. This is where I'll be taking my first major profits on Jasmy. But if you want a more detailed exit plan, I've already made a video on that and you can find it somewhere on the screen. The idea here with the falling wedge is that we have already had a breakout and this is more of a back test, right? That is just happening right here. And what is happening right here is just accumulation, waiting for the next big leg to the upside. But of course, there's still resistance in the immediate short term. One of it being this major resistance that we have right around $0.008 per Jasmy. And of course, we still have got $0.0044. Now, on my last update on Friday, I was pointing out to this RSI here saying that in recent times, more than a year actually, we have been rejected right around this level. Something like 55 to 62 on the RSI is a major rejection level here. And all the rejections that we have had on the price in recent times have been right around this level. So as I was already mentioning, that is a fingernail biting moment. I was cautiously optimistic that maybe this would be the time that would break above this level. But as you can see, every single time we were around these levels here, we have had rejections since going back as far as 11th of July 2022, right? So that more than a year, we actually been rejected right around these levels here. So I think it's really important for us to get a final break above this level that we can continue to the upside. Now, we also took a look at the 50 daily moving average, where I was pointing out that this moving average is like the single most important moving average on the Jasmy price, because when it rejects the price, it actually rejects the price like pretty big, right? Now you can see that we were rejected once here around the 5th of December, massive rejection to the downside. Something happening here on the 8th of November 2022, massive rejection to the downside. You have the same thing here, 11th of September. Another rejection here, another rejection. It goes on and on. So this is actually an area of concern on the Jasmy price. And if you want to zoom right here, you can still see that we are to the downside of that moving average, even though we had a daily closure above that level. We need a convincing break and closure above the 50 daily moving average for us to continue to the upside. In the immediate short term, we don't have that at the moment. But if we take a closer look at this branch that we are stuck in here, can we go ahead and find some early signs, some early indications that, you know what, maybe we are just about to be done with this accumulation that's happening right here? So for that, we are going to go to like an hourly time frame and show you what exactly is happening. And we can see that we have a nice setup here on a 1 hourly time frame. I was posting earlier on X or previously Twitter that I've already opened a long position. I'm going to be trading this range that we are stuck in. And if you don't want to miss this trade alerts, I would encourage you to follow me on Twitter. Also subscribe to the channel here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and explain what we have right here. So basically what we have here is a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. People who've been following this channel know that I really love Wyckoff accumulation patterns and Wyckoff distribution patterns because they are really reliable. So this is the schematic of a Wyckoff accumulation, and the name really suggests what is happening, right? This is just accumulation in a range before you go for the next leg up, right? So we've got phases within the schematic, phase A, B, C, D, and E, right? In phase A, we have got prices going to the downside, initially being supported here by what is known as a preliminary support. After that small bounce, you have violent price action to the downside, setting what is known as a selling climax before like the bigger guys start buying up the market right here, and they send the price one more time to the downside in what is known as a secondary test. You test the top of your range again, and then you head into what is a secondary test in phase B before you head for, you know what, you'll basically be testing the top of your range here and the lower support that you have right here before you head into a creek where price is moving slowly but surely to the downside before you eventually have a very violent last shakeout right here, which is known as a spring, and then you continue upward right in what is known as the last point of support and all that good stuff. So going back to Jasmy on a 1 hourly, I've already illustrated each and every single stage here, where we are starting off with our preliminary support right here, our automatic rally, selling climax, secondary test right here, secondary test in phase B here, testing the top of the range here before we head into our creek. You can see that the price is creaking to the downside before we eventually head into a spring, and we've already had that spring, which is usually the lowest point right here. This is the reason why I've decided to open a long position here with my stop loss right around like just below that spring. So that's something like 0.0036 here. If the price goes lower than that, I'm out of my trade, having had a loss of something like 6%. I think this is an okay risk reward ratio in my own opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have today. I don't expect the price to go as low as something like 0.0036. If it does that, I'm out of my trade, and we'll be looking at what else is coming for the Jasmy price. But I expect the price to bounce here and continue to the upside, even testing the top of the range one more time. We'll see what happens when we get there. But in the immediate short term, this is the setup that we have on a 1 hourly time frame on Jasmy. Obviously, none of what I say is financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say. All right, I've been wrong once, and it's likely that I'll be wrong again in the future. But if you like the content, don't forget to delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and if you could, please subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye.